here we are in our forum for games. We're going to start by introducing ourselves, minus one. We have a ex-gang member who is going to be anonymous. But let's start over here.
My name is Sean West, and I'm founder of No Thugs Incorporated of Stark County.
My name is Jove Coleman. I'm a student at McKinley Senior High.
My name is Katrina Robinson, and I'm a student at Washington High School.
My name is Cameron Jones, and I am from Timken High School.
Okay, I'd like to start the discussion by talking to Mr. Sean West about No Thugs Incorporated. This sounds like a really interesting type of program going on over here.
Well, one of the things that we're doing at No Thugs, and I'm a former gang member myself. I was in law enforcement also many years ago. The program is designed to get kids out of gangs, to steer them in different directions as far as teachings, educational sources, counseling, and motivational skills, so they'll feel good about themselves and they won't use the gangs and as lifestyle to sort of build themselves up. We are in the process of acquiring some property to teach them, electrical process of wiring, um, plumbing and heating, helping them get their GEDs and stuff like that, and also teaching the parents, as you know, what signs to look for when their kids are involved in gang activity.
That's excellent because there's so many parents who their young people may be involved in gangs and they really don't know to think about the kids. The parents of the kids who of Columbine. Those parents, the signs were there, but they kind of like seem to ignore them, and that's a very serious thing. Also, I think it's great what you're doing as far as getting the kids out into doing something else. Something more productive with their lives, which is kind of our same mission. Are there any questions that you guys have for Sean?
Like, I know there's drug programs that are set like 30 days and whatnot. Is there a set program like time-wise, or is it just?
No, our program is for as long as the family needs it. Being in a gang, it's sort of like being in AA or something. You never really get out of it. People are always trying to pull the person back in if he's getting out. Education, you always need to develop that. So we're just, as long as the family and the kid needs us, we're there to help them out and to educate the community as far as different things to look for.
Okay, I have a question for you. I don't really hear of many gangs around my area or, maybe my school or anything, but I'd like to know how many people you really get that come to you for help.
I've had quite a few youngsters who have come to me and want to get away from that. Massillon doesn't really have that much of a gang problem as far as going out, drive-by shootings and stuff of that nature, but they do have quite a few kids who are involved in certain activities. The Gothic kids and things like that, where they wear all black and they have the different makeup on and everything. You have a few kids who were impersonating like different gangs. I don't really want to say their names, but they know who they are. Kids running around wearing all black or all red, all blue. Some wearing black and white. And those are certain markers as people to look for. People who understand the gang life know it's there. You see, you ride around town, you see different graffiti on buildings, and being able to read that, and then you'll know. Those are your markers.
And going back to what you said about the copycat gangs, like, from the time I was 14, growing up, there, house parties and they'll be shooting in the air and somebody will get hit by a stray bullet. And you hear about other young people who are losing their lives. So I think that a lot of times that those are more dangerous than the real gangs because they really don't know what it's all about. And this is where I'd like to bring E in on. We're going to call our ex-gang, our member E. He's been there, a real life situation, and I'd like to start him off by asking, how did you get into the games? Like, what made you do it?
Basically, when you get in the game, it's like another outlet, another experience in life. I mean, I grew up in church, one around, and I was just basically looking for stuff to get into. I mean, sometimes you felt like you was caged. That's how I felt. So I had to get out and experience other things. And so basically I got into that. And it was like they showed me love. So I mean, I feel it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there like, okay, let's do this then. and I got into that life, and the street life is appealing. Once you get in the church life so long, the street life become appealing to you. So you want to get in that kind of stuff. So basically, I was out there and just living my life, just wanting to experience things, and I got caught up.
This question is for E. What made you want to get out of the game? What experience did you go through that made you want to get out the game?
Basically, well, when I was 16, I got locked up. And they found me over trying to get done, and I got sent to prison. And so I went to Lorraine first, and I went to Madison, and then they sent me to Nashville. While I was in Madison, my dad died while I was in there. And I mean, it's just sitting there looking back on my life, and I'm thinking, like, dang, I'm only, 18, and I'm looking at all the stuff I've been through already. And I'm like, I can't keep living like this. Hopefully everybody want to grow up and have a house and kids, you know. But I mean, I just felt it was time to make a change, so that's what I did. There's a lot of stuff going on in my life that I knew I couldn't keep living like that. I couldn't just keep walking around the streets always watching my back, waiting for something to happen, because I ain't the one to sit there and just watch my back all the time. So I just got to keep moving forward, and I mean, I just couldn't keep going like that. I mean, things had to change, so that's why I decided to turn my life around and do things on the positive side.
Okay, my question is also for E. What advice would you give to somebody who is trying to get in a gang or maybe who's thinking about getting into a gang?
Basically, I would tell them that it ain't for them. Because I know the truth, because telling the truth, it wasn't for me. But I just got in there, like I said, for experience and basically being a rebel and just wanted to be disobedient to my parents and just wanted to experience new stuff in life. But gangs, they was meant for people that grew up eating ketchup sandwiches, and it was all about money back then when gangs started out. And so then people went in, they had to get money, so they went and hustled and they got together in groups and they formed gangs. And gangs didn't even originate in Ohio, it originated in California. And to somebody that's trying to get in the game, I just tell them like, dog, that's not for you. That ain't where you supposed to be. So why would you sit there and try to do something like that? Because that ain't the life to be leading.
I know of many people from several gangs or whatever, so, and they all say they have initiations or whatever. What are initiations, and did you have one to get into the gang?
Yes, it's initiations, and I had one to get in the game. Matter of fact, I had two because I was in two different games. But it's like it's different ways to get initiated. You can get jumped in, you can get beat up. You can get blessed in. I mean, you can go out and do something to prove yourself loyal. Me, I got jumped in, and that other one basically just happened. I mean, because I just did something, and they was like, okay, he a rider, so we gonna pick him up on our team, and so they basically just put me down. And I mean, all that affiliation stuff, I don't understand it. Back then, I didn't understand it, and I still don't to this day. You know, I don't know why people sit there when they get beat up just to kick it with somebody. That's something I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy because people do stuff and they don't even realize what they're doing and like the affiliations and all that. It's like you risking your life to be in something that they don't really have love for you though. Through time, maybe you might grow to have love with a few of them. But when you first start out, they don't never have love for you. It's just saying if you loyal and somebody else on your team.
Wow, this is a really deep discussion. We can go on about this, but I mean, I really see that even more so now why it is so important because that lifestyle seems so appealing to young people, but now I see why it's so important to really find out who you are as a person and to see what do you want to do with your life. Do you want to prosper? Because like E was saying, it leads to a life. It goes down a destructive path, and it's destructive. So if you're a young person who is contemplating games, I hope that this, meant something to you, that you got something out of it, first of all. You can always call up Sean West. Could you give us some of your information?
Yes, we're in the process of, like I said, acquiring a building, but our number is 330-488-1509, or you can page me, 330-292-0427, and I'll call you back and we can get it on.
He'll even take a page, so there's help out here, y'all. And get with your boy, get with Sean, and really think about where you're headed, where you're going, and we'll be right back. You never know the difference you can make in someone's life, even in helping them reconsider a life choice. Here's a small example of how someone can help affect a person's life for the better.